everyone, how you doing today? My name's Eric. As always, I want to thank you for taking the time and checking out my video today. On this episode of Smo'King, I'm going to be giving you my 3-year review of the pit barrel cooker. Now, 3 years ago, I got my pit barrel cooker and I did do an initial unboxing and first cook. I did 3 racks of baby back ribs, and I'll leave a link below. So if you're considering getting one, I definitely recommend that video to go check out before this one, because that one I give you more specifics on, how to fill the charcoal basket, how to adjust the vents, all the stuff you need to know if you're brand new. But this video is giving you my likes and dislikes about having over several dozen cooks on it, and I have a whole subsection on my YouTube channel. If you just got a pit barrel cooker and you're looking for recipe ideas, I've cooked just about everything you can imagine. From a whole turkey, turned to corned beef into pastrami, of course chicken, ribs, you name it. I've hung it on the hooks, or I put it on the grate and I've cooked with it. Okay, but this video, like I said, is just giving you my thoughts 3 years after the fact to let you know what I really think about it. Okay, and of course I didn't want to just give you my thoughts without actually demonstrating me using it. So I'm going to be cooking a rack of baby back ribs and a whole chicken. And this is really basic. I'm going to season the ribs with Michigan maple seasoning from Seared, and the chicken with the Big Chicken seasoning from Atlanta Grill Company. I also have some Big Bob Gibson Alabama white sauce that I got from my friend Thomas Rogers. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. And I got some Chris and Pitt's barbecue sauce I'm going to be putting on the ribs. So I'm just going to show you how to use it here, and as I'm using it, I'm going to just kind of tell you my likes and dislikes. So if you're considering getting one, or you just got one, stick around, okay? Because I'm going to tell you everything about it, and it's going to be very informative. Let's get cooking. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do before I go outside and show you the pit barrel cooker and discuss some of the features is I'm going to season the meat here, because I want it to soak up some of the seasoning. I found the best way to do chickens is to cut them in half. And the hooks work very well. You can just hang them like this. And I seasoned both sides with the Atlanta Grill Company Big Chicken. And so I'm going to put this in a tray in the fridge. We'll be back in a second. I'll do the ribs. All right, so here are the ribs. I did remove the back membrane. I have several videos where I show you how to do that. And this one, like I said, I'm seasoning with the Michigan maple. Now, one trick I want to show you here, because sometimes if you don't do the hooks right with ribs, as they get closer to being completely done, they get tender. And sometimes the hooks, if you just use one hook, it can rip through the meat. So to kind of protect myself, I got one hook going through the back here. Let's see if I can show you. And then I do a second hook the opposite direction, and I lace it around the top hook here. So that way, if this one rips through for some reason, I got a second hook here that's going to hold it into place. So that's what I recommend doing on ribs. I haven't done it all the time, but this is kind of thin meat up here, and I just wanted to make sure, just to protect myself. All right, guys, so here we are with the pit barrel cooker. The first thing I want to show you is this bottom vent here, okay? And it pretty much has a couple different adjustments that you're supposed to really just set once and forget it. That's the simplicity of this machine here, this cooking machine, and how it was designed. So you keep it quarter open if you're under 2,000 feet of sea level, half open, I don't know what the exact measurements are, or fully open if you're really high elevation. My only concern with this is that it's just a regular screw and a nut on the end of it, and it's not very secure. So if you wanted to allow more air in there to get a higher temperature, and you try to move this, well, see, this one I tightened up really well, but sometimes it could flap up and down, and then this is something that you really can't tighten when you're actually cooking, because the charcoal basket is right inside this barrel. And in order to tighten it properly, you need to get a screwdriver to stick in here, and then you need some kind of an adjustable wrench or something to hold the bolt in the inside, the nut, so when you screw it, it can tighten. Because you see, when it gets loose like this, it's kind of useless. So that to me is a big negative. I would really wish that they would design this similar to the vent like on a Weber kettle grill. you know, where you just have a little rubber thing that you can move it, either open or close, and maybe even have little notches. So the first notch, you know, if you're at this sea level, the second notch, third, so forth. That would also help for people that want to have a little bit more flexibility with the control of temperatures. If they want to run it a little hotter than, say, 275 to 310 degrees, which is typically what this will run, you can accomplish that by opening this up a little bit more. But this, like I said, look how flimsy it is. Just kind of goes back and forth once it loosens up. So that's one thing they could do that would be relatively inexpensive, that would really make the flexibility of the pit barrel cooker much better. Let me show you some other things here. All right, so the other thing to show you, the only other vents, but they aren't really vents because they're really not adjustable, are these little holes where your rebarb stick through. And they designed this so when you adjust the bottom vent, this will let out just enough smoke to kind of keep everything at that ideal temperature between 275 and 310 degrees, providing the lid is on snug. Now, in certain situations, again, you might want to increase or decrease that. And that's where these vents kind of come into play, because it would be very easy if they had some kind of, maybe something that would slide over each one individually, just like a vent that you would see like on a big green egg or something like that, and you could do it on the back side. How we do it now, most pit barrel cooker owners, like if it's towards the end of a cook and they're just trying to crisp up the skin on a chicken or something, they might leave the lid off altogether, or maybe they'll remove one piece of rebarb, or maybe both, and put the lid on, and that'll allow more airflow and allow it to cook at a higher temperature. But again, a lot of people, I mean, I get the idea of making it as simplistic as possible so people with the bare minimum knowledge can buy this and be cooking on it relatively easily and have a nice result without having to tinker with it. But as you get a little more experience with cooking and smoking, it's nice to have a little flexibility. And that's my other drawback with this. I love the idea of hanging the meat. I just wish there was a little bracket or something on both sides where you could just close those, or maybe close them halfway when you remove the rebarb. Another time that comes into play is if you have a full charcoal basket and you're just cooking something that takes a couple hours and you're done. Again, it would be nice if you had a vent on the bottom that you could close while it still had hot coals in it, and you had something that you could slide these to cover these holes on all four sides when you remove the rebarb, put the lid on it, and it would suffocate the fire and you wouldn't burn through all your coals. There's no way to do that on the pit barrel cooker. You pretty much have to let it burn out, and you go through a lot of extra charcoal. So the only way around that is you have to be really careful with how much charcoal you add, depending on how long you think your cook's going to be. But obviously sometimes you guess wrong. For those of you that don't know, this is how you're supposed to use your charcoal basket. Fill it up completely with charcoal, and then remove the ones in the center to put in your chimney starter. You're going to pour the lit coals right in the center. Whoops. You want to place the basket down before you do anything, okay? Because it's going to be hard if you have a hot basket of coals. I know some people use some kind of handle or something. And then here's the grate. Now, speaking of the grate, another thing that kind of annoys me with this is that if you're cooking something like fish or something that obviously is too delicate to hang, you're supposed to do it on the grate here, which is no problem. I've cooked some smoked salmon on some cedar plates. It came out absolutely delicious. But since this grate is so much higher than the coals, it's very difficult to get a super hot sear, especially if you like sous vide cooking and you just want to have a really, hot 35 seconds to maybe 55 seconds, a minute and a half to sear both sides of a steak or tri-tip or something like that. It's very hard to do it with this cooker. Now, I've seen some people use a couple of those hooks that you hook the food with and hook it to the basket handle and then hook it to this grate so the basket is literally hanging just a couple inches below the grate, and you definitely can get a very good sear like that. But I wouldn't recommend it because it's kind of dangerous. You got a big heavy basket full of hot coals hanging with a couple hooks, and obviously even if you do things right, the risk of injury or searing some hair on your hand or what have you is very great. I wish they offered, and there's a lot of people that do modifications, but I'm just talking about what Pit Barrel Cooker could do to their existing product to make it a little more versatile. If they had some way that you could raise that charcoal basket, maybe if they had an alternate set of studs that came out here, maybe with some kind of base plate with holes in it that would actually be strong enough so you could lift the coal basket and light the coal basket like maybe here, and then you could put the grate on top, and then it would be the perfect, width away where you could sear something or cook steaks, burgers, stuff like that. That's my only other little complaint. But other than that, it's great that it comes with the grate, so you have a little bit more versatility. I'm going to use a charcoal starter here. We'll get this chimney fired up here. And there you go. We'll be back in around 20 minutes when we're ready to pour this into the basket and get cooking. See you in a little bit. All right, guys, while I'm waiting for that charcoal to come to lit, takes around 20 minutes. Beverage review time. I'm trying Simpler Times Pilsner Beer, 5.5% alcohol. I got this at Trader Joe's, and I guess it's made in Monroe, Wisconsin. So that's what I'm having. This is my son Kyle and my daughter Ava Grace. And Ava Grace is trying Naked Berry Blast Smoothie, no sugar added. Ooh, that looks good. And since we were at Trader Joe's, we were looking for something Kyle to try. And I already told him, do not drink this whole bottle because it's...
He told me to drink the whole bottle.
It's big enough for a whole family. It's the product of Italy, Villa Italia, Italian blood orange soda. So that's what Kyle's having. All right. So you guys excited?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to pour my beer here first. And then, Kyle, are you okay to open that and pour that yourself? Or do you need help? Whoops. Kyle, you okay to pour that on your own?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. And Ava Grace is going to have the Berry Blast Smoothie. Ooh.
Thanks. This looks good.
Yeah, it does look good, huh?
Mm-hmm. It looks horrible.
Are you okay? You need help?
You're funny, Kyle.
All right.
Thing, drink the
well, this looks like a Pilsner to me.
Drink it all, drink it all, drink it all, drink it all.
Okay, that's good, Kyle. You can add more later. Stop. All right. Let's put the cap on there.
I can smell Kyle's drink.
Can you?
Yeah. It smells like oranges.
All right, guys. As always, I appreciate you watching my video. Cheers. Okay, everyone, let's do a cheers. Ava Grace, cheers. And Kyle. All right, Kyle, cheers here. All right, here goes nothing. Oh, this is good. Definitely a little bit stronger than your typical Pilsner beer. I like it, especially for the price. It's pretty inexpensive at Trader Joe's. If you're at Trader Joe's and you see it, I would recommend it. Simpler Times. All right. What about you, Ava Grace?
It tastes like really dark berry. I love it.
Oh, you love it? Really dark berry? What's it got in there? Let's see. Apples, banana, strawberry, blueberry, blackberry, raspberry. Wow. All right.
It's berryful.
It's berryful? I think you just
coined... There's about all the kind of berries on most in that drink.
Yeah. You coined a new phrase for them. Berry most. All right, Colin, how's yours taste?
It's not bad, but it's nothing to really write home about.
No? Let me try. Nothing to write home about?
It's good, but it just...
Oh, I like it. It's a little sweet and a little tart. But it's refreshing. Again, guys, thanks for watching. We'll be outside in a second. We throw that food on. In the meantime, we'll enjoy these drinks. Cheers again, Ava Grace. And cheers, Kyle.
Kyle, really? You're drinking it? Oh, cheers to me.
We'll be back in a little bit, guys.
Cheers to the viewers.
Cheers to the viewers.
Cheers to my foot.
Bye. All right, it's been around 20 minutes. This looks fine. Get this out of the way, and we'll pour those coals right into that big empty spot in the center. sometimes easier said than done. That's why I like also that I got this pit barrel cooker chimney starter. So you notice it's not as long as the traditional one you'll get, but the traditional one's kind of hard to put inside this barrel and turn it to pour your hot coals. There we go. Alright, another helpful tip is that these rebarbs also serve as a charcoal mover. So if one of them falls on the wrong side, you can kind of use that before you put the food on to kind of move things around. I also have a fire poker from our fireplace, and you know, it's a pro and a con. The big pro here is when you hang food, it drips, you know, some of the fat, it could be some of the liquid onto the hot coals. It creates a steam, it circulates around the food and mixes with the charcoal flavoring to give the food a very unique flavor profile that I really don't think you can get with a pellet smoker. So I really like that, and I think the way they designed this is to kind of compete against a pellet smoker, meaning set it and forget it. So you just basically follow the directions. Another thing I have to say about the company is they have some really cool videos and recipe ideas. They have a lot of nice options. Like I mentioned, I have the turkey hanger. You can get a basket. They have another one to hang sausages. They got some skewers you could use. I mean, they got a lot of neat things to kind of get really creative with it. And although you're set in this one barrel, there's a lot of versatility to it, you know. The other thing I have to say, well, let me show you real quick. What I normally do after I put the charcoals in is I just put the rebarbs in and put the cover on it. They recommend to do that for around 10-15 minutes just to kind of let the temperature stabilize. So I'm going to do that right now. We'll be back shortly. The other thing I want to show you before the sun goes down, this is probably going to take 2 to 3 hours, so I just want to show you. I've had this for 3 years, and I keep it outside. I keep it kind of under an awning, but it still gets wet when it rains. I come out and kind of dump the water off the lid, and I kind of wipe it down. But the enamel coating, I have to say, I'm very impressed. I've wiped it down a few times. Still got kind of like that mirror finish. It's very nice looking, and I haven't had any problems with it. So it seems to be very durable. So one of these days I'll get a cover for it for sure. All right, let me go grab the food. We'll throw it on here. Be back in a second. Let's get the food on here, huh? I'm getting hungry, and I got a late start. All right, let's do the ribs. Let's stick them back here, huh? And these marvelous chickens. Let's put one chicken right here. And let's put another chicken right there. All right, that's it. Now, if you want to do wood, you could throw wood. I'm just going to leave the charcoal. Some people say that leaves enough of a smoky flavor, but again, you can experiment. So that's how easy it is. So, okay, let's put the lid on it. Now, I wouldn't completely set it and forget it. I'm going to check it in around 45 minutes. Sometimes the coals kind of die out underneath maybe the ribs or chicken if it's dripping a lot, and that's when you take your little fireplace poker, stir it around a little bit, maybe leave the lid off for around 2 or 3 minutes, get those coals going again, then put the lid on. I find if you just walk away for several hours, you'll come back and usually the coals are almost done and they're not still lit real well, and that's just, I think, because the food drips. So just keep an eye on it. I'm going to go have another beer. All right, it's been exactly an hour. I haven't been out here or done anything. See some nice smoke. Let's take a quick look and just see how these are looking. The coals look like they kind of died down a little bit, so I'm going to leave the lid off now. But let's just take a look at the chicken here and see. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's too cooked. I mean, it's getting a little bit browner. It doesn't look raw. See this one here. Okay, this one looks like it's maybe cooked a little bit better. I think the coals on this side are a little hotter. And let's see these ribs. right, they're coming along, but obviously we're just the first part. It's probably going to take at least another hour, probably an hour and a half. So I think I'm going to move these more towards the center. But this is what I'm saying. This is kind of the part that you kind of have to learn how to kind of micromanage just a little bit. It's not like too complicated. You're not really messing with vents and stuff. You're just kind of moving food. Obviously, if there's a hot spot down there, so like I said, you can... I got this poker here. Seems like it's really lit well over here towards the camera, and on the other side it's not really lit at all. I'm going to try to move a couple hot coals over there. Just kind of, you know, sometimes you just got to shift coals around a little bit, the charcoals, and get the ones that need to be where they need to be. Alright, so now I got the ribs more over the fire because they look like they need a little bit. This one over here I'm going to put towards the front. This one was looks like it was the most cooked of the chicken, so I'm going to just leave it right back here. I also want to maintain temperature now of the chicken. I don't want to overcook it and have it turn dry. So I'm going to lace a couple probes here to each hole. I'm just going to go down right down into the breast, not too complicated. Try not to hit a bone. Okay, that one. And that's one of the things you're going to need. Is a decent Insta-read, as well as one of these that you can monitor while you're cooking, definitely. Since you don't have really any idea how hot everything is, I would definitely recommend some kind of probe like that. Alright. We'll put the cover on. Let's get this plugged in and see what we're looking at. Alright, so I set this at 158 degrees because I think it'll carry over a little bit. Well, it's coming along faster than I actually expected. One's reading 137, one's reading 144. So we'll just keep it going. Hour number one. Be back in a little bit. It's been around an hour and 40 minutes, and looks like one chicken's 155, one just clicked up to 151. Let's take a look. Oh, looking good. Let's see if I can do a couple independent readings here with my thermopunch. Oh, I just hit a bone there. Let me try to get over here. Saying 145.8. I mean, we want to cook it to 165. We don't want to go too much more than that. And I'm sure the breast or the dark meat hanging close to the fire is probably getting a little bit more done. But yeah, 145.8. We got some time. Let's see this one. I feel like I hit something there. Let's see. There we go. See, that one's a little hotter. 155. 156. So these are getting pretty close. But again, just kind of use your judgment. You can move them around. You know what? Let's take a look at these ribs. So these, you know, I don't really temperature probe these. I just kind of get a feel, kind of bend them a little bit. I like to see a little bit of bone breaking through, which I don't quite see yet on this end. They look delicious, but yeah, they're going to need some more time. I'll put them back here over the fire. Right, let's take a look and see how this is looking. Oh yeah. Look at that. See, the coals are doing fine. Ribs are doing good. Chicken's looking good. Alright, we're almost there. Alright, we're exactly at 2 hours. The alarm just went off. It's climbing fast. 164. The other one's saying 154. Let me see here. Alright, so this chicken over here is the one that's reading 164. Just click to 164. Let's take a look here. Pull a probe out. Whoa, it looks good, huh? Let's do a couple temperature checks with the Insta-Read just to confirm. Let's see, let's just go right here. Oh, I like the sound of that sizzle. Ooh, ow. Yep, 164.5. Ow. Yeah, this is ready. Okay. This other one, so, let me hang this for a second. This other one's reading 10 degrees less, which is kind of strange. Let's take a look here. I think these are ready, both of them. Okay, I'll just hang them here for a second, leave the lid off, try to crisp up that skin. Alright, let's take a look at these ribs here. Ribs are probably going to take a little bit longer. Alright. There we go. They look good, don't they? Alright, we're at around 2 hours and around 25 minutes. And I think these ribs are probably pretty close to done. Oh yeah, man. They got beautiful color. I mean, look at this. Just wonderful color. Let's see the back side. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start applying some barbecue sauce. We're just going to let it caramelize here. Let's see if I can lay that rest for a second. Stay. I'm going to pour some of this Crescent Pits on the top here. We're going to brush it on. And some's going to drip on the coals. That's fine. Now look, just take your favorite barbecue sauce. I do have to admit this pit barrel cooker is kind of a rib cooking machine. Alright. There we go. Quickly turn them over. Oop, drip, drip, drip. Let me repeat the process here. Okay. Stay. Those rebarbs serve as a nice resting place too, as you can see. Oops, let me turn around. There you go, guys. Whoops. Look at that. Alright, so we're just going to hang them just like that. I'm just going to give them maybe like 10 minutes, really. Maybe 15. They'll be done. Alright, it's been around 10 minutes. These are definitely done. I just wanted that sauce to kind of caramelize. Let's take one last look. We'll bring them inside. There you go. Look at that. Man. Doesn't that look good? Alright, we'll bring them inside. Alright guys, here we are. Here's the rack of ribs. Very nice color. And then here are the chicken halves. They look good as well. We'll be back in a second. Alright, here I am with my whole family. My son Kyle, my wife Monica. I cut up some chicken and put some Alabama white sauce here. All right.
Now this is the original Gibson's, right out of Decatur, Alabama. And my family happens to live about 10 miles away from there. And I've been over to the original.
It's amazing.
We gotta thank Tom Rogers.
Thank you.
Ooh, hang on.
Is that where you? Oh, that's right. It was Tom that gave it to you.
I think my homemade one was better, but. Kyle, here's a chicken or a chicken breast I cut up. This was a little bit of dark meat and a little bit of chicken breast, but try one of these pieces up here. You probably
So good.
Just chicken breast, same thing.
I love that smoky flavor.
It really, the chicken does have a smoky flavor. That's from the pit barrel. I don't think you can duplicate that.
Very good.
What do you think, Kyle? Can you taste the smoky flavor?
It's amazing.
All right. Kyle doesn't want to try a rib, but here, pick a rib. Pick a rib.
Not a fan of rib.
And I'll take this one as well. All right. There's a nice little smoke ring on it.
Yeah. That looks good. Look at that. Oh yeah.
Oh man, it's good.
We're gonna be eating good tonight.
And again, on the pit barrel. It's got such a great smoky flavor, even though I didn't use any wood.
It's really tender, and it's really smoky.
Take it easy, Kyle.
That's a win-win. Okay, Kyle, stop.
You obviously like it.
It fell in the sauce and I didn't get it out.
And these are really good. Also just smoked with the pit barrel cooker. I mean, I'm really impressed. And for someone looking for their first grill smoker and for the price point, I have to recommend it. It does put out very good results. What do you think, Kyle?
Good chicken.
It's good.
As always, guys, I appreciate you watching my video. If you like it, please hit the like button. I would love it if you would consider subscribing. And I'll leave a link to my website above, ericsmokingbbq.com. I appreciate you watching. And the Pit Barrel Cooker 3-year review is a definite yes from me, if you're on the fence thinking about getting one for sure. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
Bye.